Let's start with Mr. Santoshi. We all saw the trailer and it kind of takes us back to the history, not exactly the history that we have read though. As a filmmaker, I would like to know, first of all, what was the idea behind putting this film together, Gandhi versus Godse, in the first place?
Well, like people in India or all over the world who know Gandhi, they worship him, they admire him. They have taken inspiration from Gandhiji's quote and his ideology, etc. At the same time, a lot of people have many complaints against Gandhi, and a lot of allegations have been made on Gandhiji. Okay. And for some, he gave explanation. For many, he could not. He died. Okay. Unfortunately for Godse, he gave a statement. Very less is known as far as Godse is concerned. Even in India, abroad, I don't think most of the people will not know Godse, except that he shot Gandhiji. In the court, he gave a statement, he gave an explanation under what circumstances, what was the situation, what compelled him to take such a drastic action of killing Gandhiji. But for some strange reason, his voice was suppressed. Statement was banned, not to reach the people. Now 2 years back only the ban was lifted and now it is in a public domain. So I thought the history has done injustice to both Gandhiji and Godse. So it is people's right to know about everything. People's right to know before they pass a comment, before they judge anybody. So I thought it would be very interesting if we can bring both Gandhiji and Godse and give them a platform so they can meet, they talk, they debate, and they fight over the ideologies.
Sure.
That is what I thought would be interesting as a cinema, as a filmmaker. I have not done. Or for that reason, I don't think in India people have done this kind of an experiment before, picking up two characters from the history, going along with the history, and then fictionalizing the whole thing.
Right. But history in itself is considered to be sacred, right? And on the top of it, when we try to fictionalize it, we can kind of end up tampering the facts. So as a filmmaker, how did you kind of maneuver through these challenges while making this film?
See, history, yes, it is sacred, but also history, many times the books have been written from a certain point of view. I don't know how many history books, what we hear, are fair and unbiased reproduction of what actually happened. So it's my take. I have done my research, going through various books, etc. And I'm trying to be very, very fair. The moment I thought of doing this picture, I thought I will not take any side. I may have a liking, I may admire Gandhiji for whatever his contribution towards our independence movement, everything is in place. But while doing the film, I will present as it is. Both their ideologies, both their words, are not making any changes, any, distortion. So that is what I felt as a filmmaker will be my contribution to bring it to the people. So I strongly feel seeing this film, people will understand Gandhiji also a little more and know Godse, who is Godse, what he stood for, what went into his mind, what made him do this act of shooting Gandhi.
Right, sir. And moving on to Mr. Deepak, sir, you look very promising in the trailer. Tell me about, what are the challenges to, get into the skin of this character? Because, Mr. Gandhi is regarded the most all over the world. And you have also done a film previously, Gandhi, My Mentor, right? So, of course, there's a lot of research work that's already in hand with you. So how did you kind of, slipped into the skin of this character?
As we are taught in our, dramatics that Angik, Vachik, Satvik and Aharya. So, first of all, I have to, observe his body movements, his gestures, his postures, his walk and all, which are fortunately available on all internet and other archival material is available. So that was the first thing. And for that, I have to reduce my weight. I had to have control on my food habits and all. Then I have to read a lot as and when the subjects and topics, various kinds of came in for various assignment. I had to, read Gandhi references as much as I can. And others are the necessary director's input. So that way, on screen, I think, and the other thing is Gandhiji is all videos are available on archives. People have seen how Gandhiji looks, his photographs and all. So that was also a big challenge. On the other hand, many legendary actors like Ben Kingsley and Nasruddin Shah and Annu Kapoor and Darshan Jatiwala all had portrayed Gandhiji on big screen. So when it comes to the big screen, it was a fear or challenge to prove myself. But fortunately, I was in the one of the best hands, one of the best directors of India. So I was relaxed that he will surely, draw the best out of me.
Right, sir. And Santosh, sir, you tell me, because you have earlier created a masterpiece like Bhagat Singh, then you were in the process of making Battle of Saragari. Tell me about your love for history. Where does that stems from?
Well, I'm a student of history. I love to read books on history. That is what it is. And I also feel there's a lot to learn from history for today's youth. So I think one must learn from the past, think today and build a good tomorrow. That is what I feel. And I also believe that those who forget history are doomed and condemned to repeat it again and again.
Right.
So history is very important to know from where we have come from, what mistakes we have done in the past, so it is not repeated.
Right. Because history has also kind of become a narrative to a lot of filmmakers. For example, recently we had a film like Kashmir Files that's now running for the Oscars. There are several films around history being created. Do you think there is a kind of a new taste that's developed amongst the audience for history over the years?
I don't think like that. I never thought like that. I never made film for flavor of the season. I went by my instinct, what I feel right, I do that. I don't think audience are going to like this. This is what audience are. Audience are open for anything that is entertaining, that is good, that's the original content. People will receive it happily and they will like it.
Right. But as far as this film is concerned, the film is not yet out and people are already jumping into conclusion, calling it a propaganda film. So as a director, A, how do you kind of react to that? And B, did you take these things into consideration? Because when you're trying to tell the ideologies of two different men, there is going to be difference of opinion, right? Did you take these things into consideration while working? Yeah.
Yes, of course. I knew people will talk like that, but my conscience is clear. And I'm worried about my conscience and my character. I have to be true or honest to myself more than anything else. If that is there, then no fear. I was not bothered about it. I'm not from any party, neither I'm playing a front man to any party's ideology. I'm an independent filmmaker, and I believe that all artists must be independent and be bold, courage to express their thoughts and their feelings. I believe in that freedom. Like freedom of speech, like freedom of expression. But it was an artist, any artist, whether it's a musician, whether it's a singer, whether a painter or a writer, actor, director, anybody for that matter. So I am not bothered about it. I'm not worried about it. And when I'm talking about speaking truth, like I said, Gandhiji, he spoke truth. He was a fearless man. And same thing, even Godse, he was not scared. He knew what consequences will be there after when he shoots Gandhi. But he went ahead and did what he believed in. So when you're making a film on Gandhiji and Godse, how can you get scared? If I'm scared, then how will I do justice to both these characters?
Right. And since, the aftermath, the fictionalized version, I would like to know, the conversation between Mr. Gandhi and Godse, what went behind scripting those dialogues? Because those dialogues have to be extremely sensitive, because that never happened in the first place. And B, it again, it's going to speak about the ideologies, right? So how sensitively have you dealt with those conversations between both the men?
First of all, I've been very honest, as I told both the characters. Whatever you hear, Gandhi's talking, Gandhi's speech, everything is what Gandhi has written in his books, or he has spoken on any, podium or speech or whatever it is. The dialogues of Godse are his words. What statement he gave in the court. We have picked up all these dialogues from his speech only. From not his speech, from his statement, whatever he said in the court. We have not mixed up, we have not adulterated, we have not changed, neither put any words to their mouth, nothing. So that way we were true. So only as a writer-director, I rewrote it somewhere to make the conversation interesting. Well, like a statement is one-sided statement. He just went on to give the statement. So we wrote in a dialogue form. Godse is saying this and Gandhi is saying this. Godse is saying this and Gandhi is saying this. So it becomes very alive, interesting, engaging, and it's also performance oriented. The film is a performance oriented. They're reacting to each other. Okay, so that is the only thing we did. Otherwise, we are honest to their ideology, their thoughts.
Right, sir, right. And sir, Deepak, sir, I would like to know this from you. Since you're playing one of the most crucial characters, what was the research work that you did yourself apart from Mr. Santoshi? Is there anything specific that you were asked to do to play this one?
As such, no, because this part is not available in any book or any history. It's a kind of a fiction. So it's not a history, it's not a fact. So I was completely surrendered to my director's version, my director's interpretation, and just linked whatever researches I had before for the other assignments. That was my database, what I had with me. Otherwise, looking to this subject, I was completely surrendered to my director's interpretation and version.
Right, sir. And Mr. Santoshi, sir, if we go back to your filmography is extremely strong with almost all kind of films that you've made. It's not specifically comedy or romantic. We have seen all films coming from your end, right? As a filmmaker, how do you kind of, balance this act to ace with each and every genre? How do you kind of balance that?
Well, I pick up story, what inspires me, or if I get, it depends on my mood, frame of mind. For example, when sitting and talking and chatting with my writers or with my team, if I feel that a good comedy I must do, then when I take a decision to do a comedy, I'm very, very honest to the subject. Then that flavor, that genre, I don't try to say some comment or some social comments or any advice, anything. It's a pure comedy. Like it's Andaz Apna Apna. It's really a pure comedy. Then you can't have no serious lines are there. No emotional scenes are there. Neither there's any action, crude action. It's a pure comedy. Similarly, when I do Andaz Apna Apna, it's a love story and a humor. It's a musical comedy, you can say. But love plays a very important part. I'm conveying a very important message. If you love somebody, the basic thing is that you have to want to see the person happy, not to possess the person. That is what my protagonist Prem conveys through his character in the film. That he loves Jenny. He wants to marry her. But at the same time, he respects her choice. If she loves somebody, then he works hard to see to it that she gets that person, the other person whom she loves. Because he wants to see her happy, genuinely want to see her happy. That is what his love is. That is what. The small undercurrent the story is there. Besides, very beautiful songs, very good humor and comedy. When I do a Legend of Bhagat Singh, it's a very challenging because when you're attempting a history like Legend of Bhagat Singh, already the lines are drawn, the court is drawn. You cannot go wherever you want. When I'm writing my own story, I can travel, I can take any kind of a liberty. But when I'm doing a Bhagat Singh, I can't take a liberty. I have to be honest, true to the incidents, what happened, what went through the mind of Bhagat Singh, and who are the other characters, the principal characters, like Gandhiji. What Gandhiji was doing at that time. What kind of interaction Bhagat Singh had with Gandhiji? What kind of a contribution Bhagat Singh made in the history, in the freedom movement, and also Gandhiji. So like that, you have to be honest. You have to go in that world. Like when Andaz Apna Apna, different world altogether. Then I go into the world. I create that world of humor, comedy, the characters. Crime Master Gogo, you won't see in a bus stand or in a railway station. It is my world that I have created. Crime Master Gogo and Ram Gopal Bajaj, Shyam Gopal Bajaj, Robert, Amar, Prem, all these characters. They're different world.
Right.
Bhagat Singh is a different world. Like China Gate. Again, it's a different world. It's an adventure. I was very inspired by Seven Samurai. I'm a huge fan of Akira Kurosawa. So that's the inspiration of Seven Samurai, where retired army guys coming together to help a village or to help somebody. Like that, inspiration can come from any quarter, anywhere, anything I read. It inspires me. I take a decision to do a film, and when I decide, I see to it that I'm very honest with that genre, that subject.
Right, sir. And before I wrap this, lastly, I just want one question. People have been eagerly waiting to watch Andaz Apna Apna again. When do we see you recreating the magic again with Salman and Amir?
Well, Salman and Amir now too old to play a young lover boy or to do that kind of a comedy now. We have to make a different kind of a comedy with them. But definitely, I am not doing any sequel of Andaz Apna Apna. But on the same genre, I have written a subject with two young guys and two young girls, young stars, and same kind of a musical genre, healthy comedy. It can come out better than Andaz Apna Apna or as good as Andaz Apna Apna. I don't know. But sincerely, I'm trying to attempt something like Andaz Apna Apna. I'll announce end of this year. I'll announce that film.
Right, sir. So thank you so much for this conversation, sir, and best of luck for the film Gandhi versus Godse.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Deepak, sir. Thank you.